people who know English, the bidding starting with one spade, but it was in French. My mother didn't know the rules. People were chatting. We had the little kids in the middle. So the next person who bid like 1 hurt, and it went on. So the next person goes, "What was bid?" He said, "Oh, it was 1 hurt." So the next person says, "Okay, I bid 1 diamond," and nobody notices what's going on. And showing up the next person actually does bid 1 club. So it went all reversed. And it was just like total chaos because people were not paying attention and the grandchildren were in the middle. So, we went all like started laughing. That was a good laugh. And I think that's it for my picture. That's what I wanted to share. Do I have anything yes to say? I wanted to say, yeah, my mother-in-law was absolutely amazing in terms of like every single Pesach. She would get everybody together, the children, the grandchildren, so that we all would all be together every Pesach after Pesach. So that was amazing. And to just give a picture of her brilliance, when I started dating Dan, nothing challenge for my mother-in-law. When I started dating Dan, she said, "Well, I'm going to learn French." So she started learning French. And she was doing it, and she was putting labels on furniture, and it was just like amazing to see how much energy she would have. So yeah, I only have like, one memory, and I miss her really. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah. If you reconnect, we got kicked, I ran out of time, so if you reconnect with them. Let's see, Joel, do you want to add something?
Sure. First of all, it's nice to see everybody. Glad to be able to participate here. I of course have, probably, thousands of memories, but I'll only share one thing, which sort of continues, things that have been said already, but I think it sort of epitomizes, your mother's selflessness, really, in terms of how she treated your father, in particular. And what sticks out in my mind so much is the fact that, I hope it's okay that I say this, and I apologize in advance if I perhaps shouldn't have, but before she passed away, she was trying to arrange your father's future life, even with another woman, and I thought that was just so astounding. And yeah, so that's, like I say, there's a lot of memories. When I understood that Danny was going to ask me to speak, I started thinking about things that I might say, and just 100 things went through my mind, but I wanted only to mention that one.
Well, I'd actually like to know. I know my mother said that she didn't want my father to live alone, and that he should come out to us and meet a woman out here on the East Coast, and that it had to be a woman that we approved of. she trusted, I guess, us more than Dad. But did she actually have a few candidates in mind? Had she been interviewing?
Pardon?
Did she actually have specific people in mind? Had she?
No. I don't think it went that far. I assume.
Yeah, Charlotte, even though she was at the same synagogue as Dad, that was only after her synagogue, which I forgot the name, merged with their synagogue, and so she never, Charlotte, and never actually met Sarane in person.
Right.
And actually, she sent her. I spoke to her earlier today, and she couldn't join this, but she sent her regards and lots of news, and so on. Yeah. And I saw the video I was showing at the beginning. It had Jerry, your
Yeah. You said it was 1960. I kind of wondered what month. But,
yeah. I actually, it was a Thanksgiving. You're not depicted, but you would have been a few weeks old.
Yes, that's
You
right.
surely were sleeping at the time.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jeffrey, you want to say hi?
I would love to. I remember your mother very well, but when I think back, what I remember most is that while I remember her always uh, being somewhat incapacitated because of illness, she would always make your favorite lunch whenever I came over to play, which I believe was tuna salad sandwiches, and they always had to be with a particular type of potato chip, and then these Stella D'Oro marguerite cookies with the brown and the white ones. So it was always, she always went into the kitchen and prepared your sandwiches. And I never remember any instance in which she wasn't feeling so unwell that she didn't want to make you a nice lunch so that you could have the best possible play experience. So I remember your mother from that and some very happy times at at your home with your parents and of course with Pepper Oliver Shalom and your grandfather who was a frequent guest at our home for all of the Loeb Smachot. If you needed to put people somewhere, it was either your grandfather or Eric and B. So we had, I grew to know the extended family, and I was always hearing stories from my parents about your parents and your mother. My mother would always tell stories about what a wonderful mathematician she was, and that she was able to go to University of Chicago and excel there in mathematics, or at least that's what my mother had told me. So those are my memories. They're much in line with what Barry was talking about, except the slot for me with Barry was Barry's brother Danny, who I remember very well from that time period as well. And the three of us were the same age. And Danny, you and I were always playing in the backyard on your jungle gym, pretending it was a spaceship. And then your mother would say it was time for lunch, and she had always made those sandwiches. And again, no matter what she felt like, she always put her love for her children ahead of anything else. I think that's pretty much what I would have to say. So I'm really happy that 15 years later, everyone has such wonderful memories that they can share.
I like to say that that all those stories about our play dates together brings back great memories. And as we got older,
We have a lot of feedback, Dan.
oh, let's see. Hold on. Let me put this back in here. Hold on. All right, is that better? Is that better? Was that better? Wait, no. Better? Am I on?
That's good.
Can you hear me? Is that better?
Perfect. Perfectly.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I was going to say, as we got older, my mom gave us more responsibilities in the kitchen. Although she was always gave exact directions. She wanted to know, she when she would tell us to get a particular pot on the third shelf of this a closet in the basement for Pesach, and it was going to be exactly on that side of that shelf, even though she had never gone to the basement in many years, because that's where she told the previous person to have put the stuff. But through her instruction, I think me and my brothers both have a lot more experience in the kitchen than a lot of men our age. So that served us a little bit in our future lives as well. Yeah, and here you can see I was showing some of the photos that I've uploaded to the invitation. So here, this is I guess the math department at the University of Chicago Lab School. So that's my mom shortly after graduating from college on the second from the right seated. Let's see, Gabby, you wanna add anything?
It's really nice to see everyone and to hear everyone's memories of my grandmother. I guess my memories are more when she was older, but she's always there for us and really wonderful. And it's nice to hear everything about when she was younger and how she was such a good mother and grandmother to all of us, and that 15 years later, everyone has all these wonderful stories to tell about her, and I really hope I can be like her as a mother and in the future.
Yeah. This photo, I believe, is Uncle Donnie's bar mitzvah photo, and yeah, so
Yeah.
Oh, admitting John, yeah.
Wow, it
And,
looks like Yehoshua, doesn't he?
yeah. Oh,
I was going to say Ellie. I think Ellie.
It looks like
Yeah,
Ellie.
yeah, Ellie.
It
You're right.
looks like Ellie.
A little bit.
Yeah.
They're all related, you know. It's a.
Yeah.
that's a graduation photo. There was a photo here where he looks like I would say Stuart. The one where wait. Yeah, so that's Uncle Donnie on the right, but I think, but younger. And I don't know who that is at the bottom. And this is, I guess, Yeshua's
Wedding, his
wedding.
wedding.
Yeah, and this is actually Benjamin's Breet.
Yes.
Yeah, she was so happy. You know, she was saying she was tired, didn't know if she could make it, and I said, you know, I've only got 2 brothers. I don't know if they're going to have other kids, and if they do, they might not be boys. You know, so gotta seize your occasions. And she came out, and you know, it was really great to have her there. Yeah, this is, of course, their wedding. That's it. Right, and Uncle Donnie and their sister, and dad, and this here in the sort of the middle of the second row. That's my mom. This is probably one of the earlier photos we have of her. Yeah, this I think. Yeah, this was the one I was talking about with Uncle Donnie. Who do you think that?
Yeah.
I thought that's Ellie or Stuart.
I don't know. More, see Stuart's look, kind of.
Yeah.
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 I never saw that picture.
Oh, okay. You can
I love this picture.
Very nice.
share it now. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
okay. Well, do you want to say anything, John? Put yourself on. You're good. Okay. Well, anyhow.
Can I say one more
Yeah,
thing?
sure thing. Yeah, please go on.
So I had a grandson last Thursday.
Oh, Mazel Tov.
Oh, Mazel Tov.
Remember, Ravit had a little baby boy
Oh,
Mazel Tov.
whose bris is tomorrow. But it won't be like the revolution. It won't be televised.
Wow. So there won't even be a minion. I guess you don't need a minion, right?
We need a mo. We need a mo.
And you need a baby.
And you have to be 6 feet away, so it's a really problem.
Joel, are they in New York? Are they with you, or are they in New York?
Yeah, they've been with us since week before Pesach.
For Pesach. Oh, very nice.
It's been such a beautiful time. I'm almost embarrassed to smile, but it really has been for me.
That's
anyway.
great for you. Very nice. Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov.
Thank you.
Mazel Tov.
That's wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's very close to Dave's son.
No, not Dave. Not Dave. This is Ravit.
Yeah.
Ravit.
Yeah, I understand, but they are
Yes.
going to be close in age.
Yeah. Just 2 months ago, we had another one, right? Well, it happens. It happens. Well, not quite exponentially, but
right.
That's the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, I was only a couple of months older than Stuart, so we were very close. And actually, I forgot to mention it, Jeff. One of your sisters is almost the same age as one of my brothers. That even my mom was in they were in the maternity. Malka and my mom were in the maternity together, I believe, unless I'm confusing that with someone else.
I think that's right. And I've some pictures. Where did your older brothers go when you were being born?
I didn't ask.
Possibly they were at our house, because we've got a picture. My parents have a picture of Bobby and David at our house at some point. They're little kids, and I thought maybe it was when you were born, but I'm not positive.
And I know at some point during the pregnancy, my father was hospitalized. So that would make sense. But I know that when I came home to the house, David was riding like one of these horses with springs.
Yep.
And
one of those.
He didn't want to be bothered to see that. I already have a brother. I don't need to see another brother.
I like that you recall that when you were.
I've been told. I have it on good authority. All right. Okay. Well, very good. And
so in this picture, then she's a teacher, right?
In this picture, yes. In this picture, she's in the front left. This is her class in these are all her students.
And they are high schoolers.
Yes. Yeah. And what actually when she passed away, the funeral home, they put in the Tribune the obituary, and so they do that online, and a number of people just happened to find it, and one of the people said that they recognized her name, that she was his teacher, and he said all sorts of nice things about her. I tried actually to Google to see if I could contact that person, but I think that person has passed away like several years ago. So, and I have a copy of a textbook that she helped write. I mean, I understand that during the summer she would work on these textbooks for I forget the name of the publisher, but like
Scott Thornton.
Scott, right? But her name doesn't appear anywhere there at all. It was there was a man who was like in charge of it, and his name's there, and she didn't really got no recognition for her work. But I think her hand was in everything, whether it was my dad's company or our career choices, our schooling, everything. She was like the big balabas, and but not always getting the recognition.
Or where to put money, investment. She was on top of everything.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pharmaceutical companies, what they were up to, and so on and so on.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, well, thanks so much, everyone, for joining in, and don't be strangers. Oh, Joel, are you going to? Is there going to be some sort of a video or at least some photos?
Well, of course. I'll send them around. Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
yes, let us know his name.
Yes, of course.
Okay, Mazel tov again.
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Terrific. So it's good to see you all. That's all I can say. And stay safe, everybody.
You
Yeah.
too.
Well,
Stay safe.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Oh, here, come here, come here. Here, come.
Everyone.
Here. I'm trying to attract Pixel here.
Let's do this more often, Danny.
I was gonna say, it's good to see good familiar faces and that we haven't seen for a while. Like we're lingering here. We don't.
But maybe to your
Let's
father
go.
also. His father was a great man too. They're a wonderful, wonderful family. I just feel we should do this much more often. I feel very bad. It's been so long. And I wish Jonathan good health and everything should go well with his.
תודה רבה. תודה רבה. בעזרת השם.
Uh-huh.
And Mazel Tov to Joel and the grandchild.
Yeah.
thank you very much.
You look,
Also say,
you look far
Jeff-
too young to be a grandfather.
Yeah.
But you're already this is how many now?
3, Baruch Hashem, you know, King Yerbu.
Wow.
I mean,
Amen. בעזרת השם. Amen.
Uh-huh. After all the talk about Pepper, just wanted to introduce you to Pixel here. Jonathan was, being in quarantine. We don't have a lot of company. So Helen was nice enough to let us to ship out Pixel. So Pixel arrived here last week. And the quarantine is a good thing for the dogs because she's basically never alone. And she gets far more walks than she's ever gotten in her life. So anyhow, she's a sweet thing.
And it's good to see you as well, Dorothy. I haven't seen you for a very long time. So it's very sweet.
Yeah.
And
We're-
Okay, I'm going to check out. Be well, everybody.
Okay, all right, take care.
okay,
So
bye.
in the end, I remember you were talking about a Pesach that you might be going up to Milwaukee, or was that
No,
already the quarantine? You can go anywhere.
No, Baruch and I were home alone. It's the first time I made Pesach since 1994.
Wow.
And we survived.
Uh-huh.
No, we couldn't go anywhere. I mean, that was before, first of all, Illinois was closed and Wisconsin was closed. And by that time, I was afraid to go anywhere anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we stayed.
Mhm.
But it was too bad that you couldn't get together with Stuart, but it was also a problem, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Right.
I was
Everybody had to be by themselves, right?
Yeah, and Guy had some sort of a flu, and they were, but it turned out to be. Well, I guess you never know. It could have been, for
Right.
sometimes it doesn't,
Right, and
had no
actually-
symptoms at all.
In Ellie's family also, Ellie was in bed with headache for a few days, so who knows? And
Yeah, I mean, lots of people are never going to know it. Because it's all
Right.
Like
I mean, I know, a number of people who were infected early on, and thank God, were able to get over it quickly. They're able to donate plasma.
Right.
And, the rabbi nearby our house, there was someone, there was a couple at Purim, and they both ended up in the hospital with COVID, and so a number of other people got it, including the rabbi. And but he was saying how he used to make his regular trips to the hospital, give more plasma. Let's see, we just have somebody else who just showed up, but Temple Beth Hillel Beth. Oh, okay, it's Ben. Yeah, Ben runs the some of the weekday services at Beth Hillel, so he had to leave earlier to tend to that.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, we're sort of winding down now. Anyhow, I don't know if you ever met my mom, or but she came out here, to see us and the kids whenever they could. It's, a lot of her kids, and then her grandkids were her pride and joy. So. And Gabby's, I'm very proud of my Gabby. She's been, she's back doing her radiology again, but she had a little stint taking care of COVID patients, and she volunteered to do that in New York. And the world needs a lot more people like Gabby, and so I'm very proud of her. And even though it's keeping me away, Gabby, quite far away from us right now. It's good to see you here. And like Bob said, Grandma would have been really proud of you. And she loved the summers that you passed in Northfield with her.
Yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Okay.
Dan, I just wanted to, this is Barry. I saw that on your tree, you have a family, the Beckhoffer family. And I don't know if you know them well, but they're very, very close friends of mine. When we moved to New York, I saw you have their children, Robert, Yosef Gabriel, is a big rabbi in Muncie now, and his brother Yochanan, and two sisters, and their parents were Shulamit and Ernie. Eventually they got divorced, but I saw your tree, so I don't know if you were in touch with them or you just found that from research or what that was.
Yeah, if I have a contact with them, I don't have an email listed, it's probably that someone else provide the information. But if you have extra details, send it. Yeah, I mean, there's like 100,000 names, literally. I think I counted at one point like 50,000, and it's grown a lot since then. Because we have both Helen and I have branches that, if they're to believe, that they go back into the Bible. So so we're connected to, if basically any Jew with a big enough family tree, we're going to find a connection to them somewhere.
Yeah, and we have connected a number of people from Bet Hillel. I mean, I don't know. Do you have a name? Remember how many we connected then?
Well, Lev Cohen,
Cohen, I think maybe Oppenheimer as well.
Yeah, and also Lisa Malik is connected to us. Joseph Toledano.
Okay, Danny, how is Beckhoffer related to you? Because they were my tenants back in the 1990s. They lived upstairs in me, the Yosef Gabriel Beckhoffer.
Oh, wow.
So how are they related?
So Barry, what page was that on? Oh, are you still there?
I'm here.
I see Barry, but I don't hear him.
Oh, I don't see him.
Oh,
no,
I see him.
So
Well, it might be. All right. Well, I'll email him, and or you know what? Why don't you email me I didn't quite catch the name. So if you email me the name, I'll look at the name in the tree, and I'll find out how it's connected. Right. So
that's very interesting when you mentioned the name, because they were my tenants until 1995. When they
Are you talking about at Hicksville Road in Far Rockaway? They were your tenants?
No, my tenants in Chicago. They lived in Chicago on Sacramento.
I remember they moved to Chicago. Yeah. He's a very close friend of mine, but he missed my wedding because he just moved to Chicago that year.
So wait, So who are they related to, did you say?
They're not related to me, but they're very close friends from the New York area. I was from West Hempstead, and their family lived in West Hempstead for a while in Long Island, and then eventually I live in Far Rockaway now, and his family, his mother lived in Far Rockaway. So
Are
but I
they
know-
in Muncie? Are they in Muncie now, Beckhoffers, or they're still in Muncie? Or?
Rabbi or Joseph Gabriel, I call him Rabbi, but he's in Muncie now. There's a brother in Far Rockaway and two sisters in the 5-town area nearby.
Right. Well, their children were born. They lived. She was the principal of Shani was the principal of the Hannah Sachs Girls School for a while.
Yeah, that's right.
And,
And she
and
got
he
written
right,
in
and he
the
taught.
magazine,
He
West
did a
News
Daf
and World Report.
Yomi and Daf Yomi and B'nai Ruvain and did classes. He was involved with in Chicago. And then they moved. They bought a house in Peterson Park, and from there they moved to Muncie.
Yeah. She was written up in U.S. News and World Report for her teaching techniques in Chicago.
Oh,
It's a nice
really?
article about her.
So Barry,
Yeah.
send me the name and the URL of the page, and that way I'll be able to explain to Aunt Dorothy how the connection works. And
Okay.
are you
He'll
still
send it.
are you still in the same apartment in Sacramento? Or
Yes, I am.
Oh, wow, man, you've been there
Since we bought the house, the 2-flat, when Yoshua was 6 months old. We bought it in '67, so we're still
Wow.
I'm
Interesting.
still here.
Wow, that's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I've driven by our home on Greenwood and pointed it out to the kids, but it
Mhm.
doesn't really mean anything like the outside of a house.
No,
And
right.
but your grandchildren have seen
Yeah, they
they've-
see where their
they've
parents
slept
grew
there,
up.
Right. Very good.
Right.
Okay.
In fact, we remodeled the kitchen. No, we wanted to stay the same, but
Yeah.
it's okay. Good to see everybody.
So good night.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Good night. I got to
Good night.
All right. Take care.
Your
All
house.
right. Bye-bye.
Danny, if you have Jeffrey Alkin's contact info, if you could email me. He tried to text me in the middle of the meeting, and I was answering, and I got cut off. That's why I had to come back in. I must have hit the wrong button. You happen to have his email?
Yeah. Okay. I'll email you his contact information.
That would be great. Okay,
All right.
only simchas and good wishes, and let's get together much more often, Mr. Shem.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much.
Okay, be
All right.
well.
Best wishes to the
Be
whole
well.
family. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.